going to be pretty special to have the same car as the presenting sponsor for the Indy 500, of course. So I talked to Mark. Hopefully that entitles a little more horsepower. He made no promises on that, but we're definitely excited to get the season started.
Second full season coming in now. What do you think? Obviously, a year under your belt. How can that propel you into a stronger second season?
I think the main thing is just to pick up where we left off. The whole goal of the second half of last year was to consistently be in the top 10, and I think we're proving that the last half of the season. So we just got to make sure that's our goal this year. So far, the test at Sebring was really well. I think out of 11 there, we were like 4th quick realistically. Laguna, different timelines kind of jumbled things up, but I think we're 4th to 7th quick there. So far this year has been what we've expected it to be, if not a little bit better. And we just got to make sure we keep that going through this test and, of course, St. Pete.
Up for questions?
You've been consistent on all kinds of circuits, right? Like ovals. Is that something that you pride yourself on, being a diverse driver?
Trying to, yeah. I mean, that's what it takes to win a championship, and that's the ultimate goal, right? For me, I think it's just getting comfortable on all different types, because it's easy to push and run close to these guys up front, and it's hard to stay up there, right? So it's just making sure you don't make any mistakes by getting in a little too far. But I feel we're in a good place now. The ovals, I feel 100% confident that I could win this year. I feel very strong. I think that's our strongest hand right now. Still have a little bit of improvement to make on the road and street courses, just as far as consistency and pure out qualifying speed. That last 2 tenths in qualifying that you need, but I feel like we're closing the gap on that rather fast. So if we can have a second year where we're consistently in the top 10, breaking top 5s now and then, maybe even get that first win, year 3 sets us up perfectly where we need to be.
Which would you describe as your most satisfying race last year? Because obviously, Long Beach was a bit of a breakthrough.
Right.
But there must have been other performances that were, maybe the result wasn't so strong, but you felt
right.
We were seeing the best of Zach Veach.
Honestly, I think if I go back and I pick my best race for last year, I think it was Gateway. Just because the adversity of not being able to qualify starting 16. We had 2 great restarts. I think we made up 5 spots on the 2 restarts. And then I felt in control of that weekend. Just as far as the line that I was running with other guys, I was planning the strategy ahead in my head. I made the decision to ditch fuel savings at the end and elect to push hard and get a splash and go. And I felt complete. I felt, even though that was a 5th place, if one thing would have went differently, that would have been easily a win, if not. So I think for me, that was the most complete driver I felt of the year, was just at Gateway, and that's something I hope to keep replicating.
Talked last year a little bit about, when you got that 3-year deal, you said it kind of gave you some assurances. Now that Gamebridge is a part, and that's kind of something you all bring along. Does it feel more comfortable that you have time to kind of settle in and get what you're doing?
A little. I still don't look at it that way too much. I look at second year as the year where you have to build upon your first year. I think we have a good foundation to improve on. I am excited to say that the Gamebridge deal at Indianapolis is a 4-year deal, and I have 2 years left on my contract, so hopefully that means something going forward. But we have a lot to accomplish until then. So we know where our goals are. We definitely have to get on the podium a few times this year, if that would be incredible. And that's what we're working towards. Because once you kind of get up there, you're fighting. And the way I've kind of noticed IndyCar racing, how it goes, as long as you're running in the top 10, you're in the fight, right? Anything can happen to put you forward. You just got to make sure you're continuously bringing yourself to that position to take opportunities to move even forward.
How do you feel your preparation's different entering year 2 versus last year?
Enjoying some time off was definitely the big thing, just knowing how busy the season's going to be. But the cool thing was each time I was in the gym with PitFit, a lot of time was spent training with Alex and training with Scott. And, each day you're thinking, oh, Texas 3 and 4, or Iowa, or Detroit, you have so much in your mind that you know what the level is, and you know you have to, surpass it. So, it's just given me a better picture physically, and, I must have spent probably a solid 5 weeks in the shop, just being there every day, doing my own data, my own notes. So I went back through every qualifying session, race session, with my own laptop, my own set of Pi, so I saw all the data. Took all my own screenshots from that with compares to my teammates, and basically just wrote down a study guide for each track. So, turn 3 through 5 was good, turn 6 was what was killing you, 3/10 here in qualifying. So for me, it's cool, because now when I show back up to St. Pete, I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry 1 through 3. 4, we have to improve, the rest is okay. So now I kind of have a hit list of every track that I'm going to close that deficiency that I had last season. So it's kind of a methodical approach. Same approach that I had in Indy Lights that took me from being 7th in the championship to coming close to winning the championship the next year. So just same work ethic, same work hard, put in the effort, results will come. So I'm excited to see how that changes things.
You brought up Gainbridge, so will a lot of your month of May be involved with doing personal appearances for
I hope so.
them?
Yeah,
Some of that?
I believe so. Yeah, that's our 1 month that kind of belongs to us until race day. So hopefully there is a lot with that, and it'd be incredible if we could go and win it. I don't think a presenting sponsor for the Indy 500 is kind of new, and I don't think anyone's ever won as a presenting sponsored car yet. So if we could do that, that'd be pretty special.
And how do you explain to the average race fan what Gainbridge is and why it's important?
Yeah, it's bold and steady is the slogan that we're using, but it's a smart investment to help plan for retirement. So as in racing, as we keep saying, what guys that are great, like Scott Dixon and Will Power are, they go fast enough to stay in front of everyone, but not too fast to be out of control. And that's the same with the world of investing. You take good products, easy products to buy that you can believe in, and they'll turn into a return on your investment in 5 years. So,
Guaranteed.
life is not always guaranteed, right? But it's a good start.
You were teammate with Felix Rosenquist over at Belardi for a little bit there. What's the IndyCar series getting with him in the series now?
I think they're getting a lot more than they know. Felix is an incredible guy. He's one of my best friends in this, and the short time that we spent together in Indy Lights was inspiring. I think Felix, he's got a little comfort to find on the ovals. It's a little different going in 230 instead of 190 in a lights car. But his team's going to make sure he's got good equipment, so that comes, pretty easy for him.
We're not gonna wait, so we're just gonna do an Andretti round table, if that's okay.
So there's, talking about your simulator time, we've had guys,
Thanks, Dick.
do something about
my time with my people, okay?
Yeah, but
our simulator times that we've heard from you and other drivers, anywhere from they've had a lot of time on the simulator to none for COTA. What kind of investment simulator time do you have in COTA so far?
A few hours on iRacing just to kind of get the gist of this place. We've got a lot of onboard, which was just helpful. But it's one of those things, I think a lot of us, Ryan included, we've never been here, so not even turned laps. So tomorrow's going to be fun. There's not too many places we get to go to anymore that one of us haven't had an actual race or something at. So first 5 laps are going to be exciting because you're finding things that you don't know what are. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's a place you get right off the bat, because those places are usually really good to you.
Yeah, Rossi can tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Anything else for Zach?
I got a chance to talk to Colt McCarta a few weeks ago. He was talking about how he's going to have to keep his head on a swivel this week with spring training, like ranks and stuff. Do you remember anything from your first spring training, things that stood out?
It's still going on,
Uh,
but
The thing,
He's not a rookie anymore.
the thing that stood out is how long media day is. Comfortable with that.
Not as long as it is.
Yeah, exactly. But we did our spring training in Phoenix, so I think that place in an IndyCar is a little more eye-opening than COTA's going to be. So for Colton, I think it's going to be even more beneficial for him to be here. just because it is a new track for all of us, so we're all gonna be learning kind of at the same speed. And I think you're always a little more comfortable in a new car on the road and street courses than an oval right away. So I think it's gonna be a perfect place for him to get his hands on it, but I expect big things out of Colton too. I mean, he's a really talented guy, he's a great kid, he's very humble, you know, that's always a benefit to have. And